A sitting Utah Senate president just lost his seat because he voted for a data center. And he is not alone. Across America, data center politics is now forcing out incumbents, stretching power grids to their limits, and turning quiet towns into overnight battlegrounds. In what may be the most dramatic political casualty yet of the data center backlash, Utah Senate President J. Stuart Adams conceded defeat Tuesday night after 20 years in the legislature. Adams trailed challenger Stephanie Hollist by 8 points in the Republican primary, a race defined almost entirely by his role in approving the Stratos Project, a roughly 20,000-acre hyperscale campus backed by celebrity investor Kevin O'Leary in Box Elder County. Opponents said the approval process shut out public input and ignored the facility's staggering power and water demands. The fallout did not stop with Adams. Both Box Elder County commissioners who cleared the way for the project also trailed their challengers Tuesday night. A 180-day moratorium the commissioners passed this month will not touch the Stratos campus, which many residents called too little, too late. That kind of community fury is playing out in unexpected places. In Warwood, West Virginia, hundreds of residents packed an emergency town hall Tuesday evening, a meeting organized in under 24 hours, after discovering that a company called Silicon Energy had quietly purchased the former center, foundry and machine site and filed plans for a data center that could reach 100 megawatts. Local officials said they first learned about the project through a company LinkedIn post. Delegate Sean Fluharty, who called the meeting, pointed to a West Virginia state law that strips municipalities of control over high-impact data center facilities and exempts them from local noise ordinances. Silicon Energy has not held any public meetings. State Senator Laura Joaquin Chapman attended and proposed a fact-finding task force. But residents left the building without answers, or any clear legal mechanism to stop the project. That opposition is now making its way into courtrooms in California's Imperial County. A legal battle has broken out between governments, pitting the City of Imperial against the county itself over what would become the state's largest data center. The proposed 950,000 square foot facility is billed as an artificial intelligence and machine learning powerhouse. Last spring, the county cleared a path for it, but then residents organized. Local leaders filed a lawsuit under California's stringent environmental review law, and the county reversed course, declaring a 45-day moratorium and establishing a public advisory commission. The developer responded with his own lawsuit, arguing the county manufactured an emergency out of thin air and failed to identify a single specific public harm. Now 2 governments, 2 active lawsuits, and 1 massive data center are locked in a legal standoff in a rural Southern California county. And the reason this legal and political resistance keeps gaining momentum comes down to one thing: power. Wednesday, PJM Interconnection, the grid operator serving 67 million people across 13 states, announced it would add a new capacity advisory warning system, the first of its kind in the grid's history. The trigger: artificial intelligence data center growth is stretching available electricity so far that the grid can now face shortages even without extreme heat or cold. PJM's capacity shortfall widened from 200 megawatts to more than 6.5 gigawatts across successive auctions, an increase driven almost entirely by data center demand. The Market Monitor found that data centers alone added $23.1 billion to capacity market revenues over 3 auction years. Capacity prices on the grid have surged 833% in just 2 years. The pressure on the grid is only half the story. Water tells the other half. Virginia is in its worst drought since 2002. Governor Abigail Spanberger is urging citizens to conserve water. And for the first time, data centers across Loudoun and Fairfax counties, where more than 200 facilities operate, must follow the same water restrictions as every home and small business in the state. 1/3 of Virginia is classified as extreme drought. The industry's scale makes this consequential. A Google data center already approved for Western Virginia is authorized to use up to 8 million gallons of water per day when it comes online in 2028. Nationally, 63% of the United States is currently experiencing drought conditions. And 36 states are now actively drafting data center water use rules. State lawmakers are taking notice. And so are governors. Tuesday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott posted a stark policy ultimatum on social media. Data centers must bring their own power, reuse their own water, and actively reduce electricity costs for Texas residents and businesses, or face slashed state incentives. The post signals a significant pivot in Texas, which has historically positioned itself as one of the most data center-friendly states in the nation. Texas hosts more planned data center capacity than any other state and sits on the ERCOT grid, which has faced its own reliability crises during summer peak demand. Abbott's message echoes policy already enacted in Florida, where Governor DeSantis signed legislation this month barring utilities from passing data center infrastructure costs to residential ratepayers. At least 12 other states are pursuing similar restrictions. Yet despite that regulatory wave, construction proposals are still coming in, which is exactly why communities are taking matters into their own hands. In a single 48-hour window this week, at least 7 local governments across America voted or advanced data center moratoriums. Norman, Oklahoma approved a pause through June 2027 after a 5-hour city council meeting. Morgan County, Alabama blocked a 50-megawatt Bitcoin mining facility planned near Somerville. Asheville, North Carolina, Carbondale, Illinois, Cullman, Alabama, and New Albany, Indiana all adopted or advanced 1-year moratoriums. Jefferson County, Alabama, which includes Birmingham, moved toward a moratorium vote set for Thursday's commission meeting. Since January, more than 70 data center restrictions have been enacted across the United States, a pace that has already exceeded the total for all of 2025. And the financial commitment behind that construction is staggering, and still growing. Wednesday, Hyperscale Data, a company that built its name in Bitcoin mining, announced a 10-year, $1.2 billion plus agreement to deliver artificial intelligence computing power from its Michigan data center. The deal covers 20 megawatts of AI compute capacity by the fourth quarter of 2026, with options to expand to 52 megawatts worth over $3 billion in total contract value if fully exercised. To make the pivot, Hyperscale Data is redirecting power currently used for Bitcoin mining operations and investing up to $120 million to retrofit 60,000 square feet of its Michigan campus for AI workloads. Shares of Hyperscale Data jumped more than 22% on the announcement, as Wall Street bets the AI compute demand wave still has years to run. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. It helps us cover more of these stories.